Here we have a visualization of the ideal king, the kind of king that we don't find in the Hesiodic works and days, where the kings have been corrupted by bribes, where the judgments that they render are not straight. By contrast, here in the Hesiodic Theogony, there's this picturing of the perfect, ideal king. And this king upholds straight judgment. So when he pronounces a judgment, as we see in line 86, that judgment is straight, and he will keep on making straight judgments. And this kind of king could even resolve, put an end to, a great quarrel, a neikos. You think to yourself, well, who's been having a great neikos? Well, in the case of Hesiodic poetry, it's Hesiod himself, the personification of Hesiod, and his brother. And it was in that situation that the kings were bribed and did not pronounce straight judgments. So here you have the flip side, where an ideal king can resolve even a great quarrel. And then what other great quarrel can we think of? Well, obviously, the quarrel between Achilles and Agamemnon in Iliad, where, from the standpoint of Homeric poetry, we never find out who's right and who's wrong, because Homeric poetry doesn't use those criteria, those critical ways of judging things, of what's right and what's wrong, what's dikaion and what's not, what is dikē and what is hubris. In Homeric poetry, you don't have that. Here in Hesiodic poetry, you do. So the other implication is that if there had been an ideal king in that Iliadic situation, there wouldn't have been a great quarrel. Of course, then there wouldn't have been an Iliad either.
I was going to say, we wouldn't have the Iliad.
So there you are. But here's the king, and he is respected by all. People turn to him as if he were a god, as we read in line 91. And then towards the end, we find out, such is the sacred gift of the Muses for humankind. And the Muses and what they're able to tell Hesiod are now linked, so that whatever is ideal about a king is something that Hesiod, the persona of Hesiod, can say in the context of the Theogony. And we have a closure for this part of the Theogony with this very revealing set of lines. Blessed is he whom the Muses love, and a sweet voice flows from his mouth. Well, that blessed Olbios person is, of course, Hesiod, who can speak with the authority of kings. And something that I noticed many years ago, and it really surprised me, but fascinated me, is that this ideal king has all the characteristics that you could possibly imagine for an ideal king. But one characteristic is not included here in this description, and that is the scepter that you expect him to be holding. He's not holding it. Well, who's holding it? It's Hesiod himself, because Hesiod has been given the scepter by the Muses. So, in a sense, we don't even really need the king, because Hesiod will say all the things that an ideal king should say.